lots of talk about whether or not the car market is crashing. Certainly on the new car side, dealers are struggling. There's a lot of rumblings in the market, and it's an election year, so that impacts the market on everything. We're going to take a look tonight at two specific vehicles that we've been tracking the values on and are particularly interested in for one reason or another, and compare them and see if it lends any insight into what the market overall is doing. Now, these two are the Tesla Cybertruck and the Corvette Z06. They both have similarities in that they're around the same sticker price. The Corvette Z06 is a little bit more. They both came out within the last year, although the Z06 model year did start in 23. The Cybertruck was 24. And both of them were selling for about $100,000 over their original window sticker at their peak. In fact, I think the original Cybertruck, Cyber Beast that we covered on here, I think sold wholesale for $240,000. That was one of the first public transactions.
My gosh. But you also mean to tell me that people were paying $200,000 for a Z06?
More.
Oh my gosh.
Yes. The very, very early cars, people were paying $100,000 over. And of course, this raised all sorts of ire within the Corvette community because, as we've talked about, Corvette curmudgeons, they're very anti any sort of markup on cars. They love calling dealerships stealerships and greedy, and think that the FCC or FTC should crack down on dealerships charging over sticker price. And there's a Facebook group dedicated to C8 Corvettes at or below MSRP, nice. Which started like 2 years ago when they weren't going to be for a while. Ironically, I was the cover photo for that group.
Seriously?
I don't
know why. How did that happen?
I wasn't sure if it was a meme or not, but anyway. But yeah, so Corvette owners have been just, picketing for such a long time for Corvette's new C8s to be below MSRP. And, well, guess what? They finally are. It is happening. Oh. It is happening. And in an ironic twist, the Corvette owners who are now trying to trade in their cars are really mad about it because they're taking a hit on value.
Look, the stealership is just getting them again, Doug. I don't understand why you can't see from the perspective of these poor Corvette owners. Spoken like a typical car dealer. I tell you what.
Well, they do the same thing the dealers do, right? The dealers hype up the car, how rare it is, how desirable, how in demand it is, and want this big premium over sticker. And, let's be honest, the market dictates. The market dictates the price, not the buyer, right? The buyer has to be willing to pay it, but if there are no buyers willing to pay over sticker, then the stealerships can't steal. So we've known that for a while. We've defended that principle, but some people just cannot get over anyone charging over MSRP. They're happy for a car to go under sticker, but not over. But anyway, we got offered two orange Z06s within the past week. And that kind of gave me a quick insight on what the market on these is doing. Just a year ago, I think we sold one for like $60,000 over window sticker. And it was because a customer wanted it. They asked for it. They said, find me this spec. It was a really, really high window sticker car. And they were like ready and willing to part with their money. It wasn't anything we said, hey, you should pay this. This is, I kind of thought it was a little much, but people were paying it. And boy, has that market just tanked. We shopped these two cars around. One big Chevy dealer that has multiple stores said that they were on hold. They were not buying any Corvettes / sports cars until spring, which is never a good sign when a dealer's on a buy freeze. We saw some of that in 2020, early 2020, before the people figured out what was going on with the COVID market. I had high-end dealers that just they wouldn't buy any cars at all.
Wow.
Yeah.
What a wild couple of months that was right at the beginning.
Talk about a lack of foresight there.
Oh, and, the things we could have purchased if we would have known.
Right. Yes. But the other one hit me at $35,000 below MSRP.
Oof. These weren't like high mile cars or anything? Like
No,
just
3,000 miles. One of
yeah.
them had a Z07 package, which the owner was very proud to announce. He was educating us on how the Z07 package was rare and made it more desirable and better resale value and all these things. So when we hit him at 35,000 below MSRP, he said, you guys are not in touch with the market. But I had been offered wholesale another Z06 just a couple days before at 35 grand below MSRP. So they are falling hard.
It is rapidly
and fast.
changing. But I got to be honest. Wasn't this always going to happen? We just didn't know when.
Yes, for
I don't
sure.
know if the lovely listeners out there know this, but they make a ton of Corvettes. Like a lot.
They are not rare.
And as rare as my 98 pace car is, there's still a lot of those. I pulled
5,000 or 500?
There's like 1,100.
1,100.
But there's 500-ish with a manual, which is very important. So I was curious. Last year in 2023, they made almost 54,000 Corvettes. Not Z06s, but Corvettes in general. 54,000.
That's a lot.
That's a lot of cars. I think it's in here somewhere. There's like 6,500 of those ish were Z06s.
That's a lot. That's a lot.
So I decided,
someone will still figure out a way to distill theirs down to a one of one.
100%.
With a particular wheel trim ring color.
On the first Thursday of the third month and whatever, they're going to do it. So I saw those numbers and was like kind of staggered. That's a lot of cars. I think Corvettes, there's a ton of them. They're everywhere, but they're so good for that reason in a lot of ways. So I looked up the Porsche 911. There's a lot of 911s out there. Mm-hmm. In 2023, Porsche made 11,500-ish of them. So it's almost a fifth of the total production.
Wow.
Potentially different price points. That's all 911s, and that's including like GT3s and all the other really expensive stuff. But that's a huge difference.
That's a huge difference.
So no matter what, I think these Corvettes, no matter how special and amazing they are, will always have just gone down like every other Corvette.
I would say, too, that the Corvette production is increasing at a faster rate than the 911 production because they've been made for about the same amount of time. Corvette's been around 10 years longer, but the first 10 years they did not make that many. And there's 2 million Corvettes produced and over 1 million 911s, I believe. So, but if they're producing them at a rate of 5 to 1.
Yeah, because wasn't the 1 millionth 911 like a 991 that was like green or something?
Yes.
It's the only reason why I remember it.
So let's take a look at Cybertrucks, right? Because Corvette guys, of course, hate EVs and want them to fail, right? Well, except the E-Ray buyers, but, well, it's a hybrid, so it's, I don't know why they call it the E-Ray. They should call it the H-Ray.
It's a sick name, though. I gotta be honest. It's an E-Ray? That's awesome.
I guess.
Because of the Stingray, and it's got some electric in
ray.
it. Yeah, it's a good time.
They should call it the electric eel.
That doesn't roll off the tongue as nicely, though. Like, it's a good name.
It also implies slippery, and you want it to be grippy.
Yeah.
Yes. So taking a look at the Cybertrucks, looking at Manheim values. I looked at Manheim values for both the Z06 and the Cybertruck for 2024, and I was looking at Z06 3LZ package ones because that's the more desirable ones, and of course looking at the Cyber Beast. An interesting thing to note, too, on the Cybertruck is that the MSRP on the Cybertruck is going down by $20,000. The Foundation Edition or Foundation Series was essentially just that, well, you can pay an extra 20 grand to jump the line with Tesla. So it was like Tesla doing the job of the flippers for them.
Yeah.
And so now that that's up and they're allowing regular orders, the MSRP from Tesla dropped 20 grand, which is the opposite direction of every other manufacturer on the planet. And honestly, the right direction because they need to, adjust their pricing with demand. Take a listen to that, Stellantis. You would benefit from that principle. So the last few transactions on Manheim for the Cyber Beast are 115, 115, 111, 115, and 112. And the Cyber Beast Foundation starts at 120 MSRP. And the non-foundation is 100K. So depending on the logic, you could either say, well, they're right at MSRP or they're up above MSRP. Whereas the Corvette Z06s are getting bid at $20,000 to $35,000 below sticker wholesale. So by these numbers, the Cybertruck is holding its value better than the V8 flat plane crank, sounds like a Ferrari, amazing performance Corvette Z06.
I'm pretty sure there's more Corvette. So let's the supply.
Zora Arcus Duntov is rolling in his grave.
No. The supply.
And Hank is getting snot in his mustache.
There's many ways I could try to logic this away, but I hate that sentence. I do feel like, I gotta be honest, Cybertrucks have to just continue to bomb. I don't think anybody cares anymore. They had their flash in the pan, and it's like, multiple people tell me they look stupid.
But we passed the initial flash in the pan, and they kind of flattened out in terms of value. Ugh. I mean, their styling flattened also, too. Yeah. But I would think that the fad would just go away because they are a fad. A Corvette is an enduring brand that's been around forever and in theory will be around forever. And the Cybertruck is a funny triangle with some motors.
Depressing.
But that brings me to a question. What is the next quote unquote peacock car?
Oh,
right. What's the opposite of the next big thing? What bubble is going to burst next? Everybody wants to know what's the next big thing. What car is going up in value, but what car is like way overvalued? Now you could say the ZR1 because that just came out and people are paying massive amounts over sticker and that can't last forever. But I think it's the 992 GT3 RS.
Oh yeah, aren't those still gobs of money?
So the sticker price, the base sticker price on a GT3 RS is $240,000, which is double what it was 2 generations ago. The 997 was $123,000. 2 generations, it's doubled for the base sticker price.
Gotcha.
The average asking price out there is in the mid 4s.
What?
Yes. It's nuts.
Oh, gosh.
And let's look at the production numbers. 997 first gen GT3 RS, 1,100 worldwide, 400 US. 997.2, 541 US. 991.1, 1,300 US, 4,500 worldwide. 991.2, 4,750 worldwide, 1,462 US. So if we follow this production curve, which is very obvious, every generation they are increasing production. And from the 997 to 991, it was massive. So we're going to have even more production for the 992. That's going to signal prices falling, methinks.
Well, I think it almost has to. Like, I think we've seen the discussion in the car sphere about the concept of a market cap for cars.
Yes.
Which is essentially just a neat way to describe that if there are a lot of cars individually, they just can't be worth as much. And that's why certain things like a Countach or a Diablo or something are worth a ton of money, is that experience there's very limited amount of them that you could buy.
Right. And there seems to be no limit to the GT3 RS being produced. We don't have the numbers yet on the 24s, but they will remain unchanged for 2025, and they will continue fulfilling orders. So I would bet we see over 5,000 worldwide, which is creeping up on Corvette Z06 production. You very rudely left out the wonderful 996 GT3 RS in your numbers, so I have done some quick internet 682.
searching. Yeah, oh, dang it. Fine. But I think that even goes like those. Even I don't even know what you could buy one of those for today because they're not
a couple $100,000.
They're just barely. They're not legal yet.
300.
Still,
people have federalized them and imported them, so you can get them here. But they are
cool.
few and far between and expensive.
But only 682. Like that's like nothing.
Right? You are correct. That's a truly rare car. Let's talk about a market that is not tanking, right? If you want to make some good money on cars, we don't advocate investing in cars or give investment advice here. But man, if you wanted to catch a bubble on the right side of thing, Corvette go-karts, not just any. The 1998 Indianapolis 500 pace car Corvette go-kart.
Best design.
Yes, Tyler drives one of those, not the go-kart. He drives a real pace car built by Midwestern Industries. So I bid on one of these at the Bonhams 2022 Audrain auction, and it went for... what was it, $1,900 with auction fees?
Correct.
I was sitting there.
You were like, that's too much. I can't possibly spend this much on a go-kart.
I was like, I'm in if it gets to $1,200. They started at $4,000 or $3,000 and went down and down and down until they got an opening bid. And they were at like $1,400. I'm like, $1,200. I'm going to bid. And I think one of the like VIPs there was just like, they nudged him. They're like, you just got to buy this. And he bought it $1,400. And so I didn't get it, but one recently sold on Bring a Trailer for drum roll, $9,700.
That is so much money. That is like half of what you can get an actual pace car for.
Yeah, you could get a real C5 for that much.
Yeah, that's insane.
But if you wanted to, if this unrealized capital gains tax bill passes, and you have enough net worth, that Corvette pace car that guy bought at the Audrain auction, he might have to pay taxes on it because of this Bring a Trailer auction result.
Nuts. This is probably the only one that sold since Audrain too. Like the market for these can be huge.
Right. Very rare. What were we saying about demand and limited
that's
supply?
True. The market cap of the Midwestern Industries C5 Corvette Indy 500 pace car style go-kart is
$50,000 total.
I do love that so there is a very tiny thing that is supposed to be the windshield right in front of the steering wheel, and they left it big enough so that they could put Corvette in it like it is on the pace car at the top of the windshield.
Absolutely.
So
and yellow stickers.
Darn right. Yellow stickers.
So we don't have the Corvette curmudgeon with us just now, but we did want to give him a tribute, and I wanted to mention something that Hank was almost involved in, an epic fail that he missed. We're talking about my multiple personalities of Doug and Hank, got invited to a South Carolina Toys for Tots show, and I was invited to be the celebrity judge. I don't know if they were inviting me or Hank, but whatever. The email came to me.
Does Hank even know how to use email?
I don't know, but you definitely got to make sure that it's all lowercase.
Exactly.
So I got invited to this. It was this past Saturday, and I had just been doing too many events. And I'm like, I got to stay home and not do so much stuff. And it was down in South Carolina, and it didn't come with lots of dollar signs attached to the invitation. So, but there was going to be a lot of Corvettes there, cars in every single class, hundreds of cars, charity event. And they wanted a certified car guy judge, which I don't know where I got my certification, but certifiable, maybe. But I found out through a Facebook post that one of the trophies, and I am so bummed that I did not go to this event now, somebody handcrafted this trophy, and it was like 4 feet tall, and the base was what looked to be a clutch assembly or a flywheel, and then it was a New Balance shoe and a leg and then jorts. It was a Corvette guy leg lamp.
And it does light up. There's like a photo in the listing or of the post of it lighting up. But like, it's not as if there's a light bulb at the top of the shade. The leg itself lights up. It's wild.
And it's engraved on the flywheel, Best Corvette.
Oh,
that was the award for Best Corvette. So in theory, Hank would have gotten to award that. Huge miss on our part. Thank you to that group for the invitation, and so sorry we could not make it.
Nuts for Sticks is a brand celebrating the manual transmission in all its forms. So forget those flappy paddles because we like shifting ourselves. Check out our fun and funny stick-themed shirts at nutsforsticks.com and save 10% on your order using the discount code SWITCHCAST. That's nutsforsticks.com and use code SWITCHCAST.
Where am I supposed to look? Over there, okay. Thank you, I think, for joining us for Switchcast with Doug Tabbitt and Tyler Sanders. Sorry, it's small print here on the cheat screen. Produced by Ethan Huffnagel. Switchcast is an automotive entertainment and opinion show, and nothing we say should be taken very seriously. We do not give tax, investment, legal, emotional, or professional advice, and the only licenses we hold are driver's licenses. Well, speak for yourself. The opinions expressed on the show are exclusively held by the people pontificating and do not reflect the values of our producers or sponsors. Dang lawyers gotta friggin' get their stuff in, don't they? Our theme music is provided by Emily and Ivory. You can stream their full album, I don't know what that means, on Spotify or SoundCloud. If you like this show, you can stream it, there's that word again, in its entirety on your favorite audio podcast platform. Check out switchcast.live for more info. Is that website case sensitive?